Hey, my name's Grobo, and this is my quick review of Book of Travels. This game recently launched into early access, and I've gotten the chance to play it for around 6 hours. I was a Kickstarter backer at the $60 price point, but the game currently retails for $30 on Steam. To be quite honest, this was a game I've been looking forward to since I heard about it. The art style and the role-playing elements are right up my alley. But does this game manage to live up to the hype? Let's discuss. You start your journey in Book of Travels by selecting from a diverse pool of archetypes, traits, backstories, and other role-playing bits that help define your character within the game world. Various attributes dictate what interactions you can have with other players, and there seems to be some interesting options. I don't want to get into too much detail here so that you can explore on your own, but otherwise there's a good bit of variety here. Once finished with character creation, you select a starting situation and the game narrates how your character got there. From here, it's all up to you. This game does not hold your hand, there's no arrow telling you which way to go, it doesn't want to feel like a theme park dragging you from one checklist to the next. It also has permadeath. I happen to love all of these details. I think they took a big risk by encouraging players to grab a real-life notebook instead of giving them a quest log. But there's something incredibly intimate about having to jot down your notes about the details of your game. It's a way of actualizing your experience. One of the things I'm most looking forward to is being able to compare my notes with another player's just to see the differences in things that we each picked up on. Being able to compare thought processes like that is something that doesn't happen in games with conventional quest logs. One of the primary game mechanics is exploration, and from what they currently have, it's very good. They've managed to make 3D navigation within a 2D diorama art style relatively seamless. The environment art is beautiful and manages to reward thorough examination of locations. So far, there have been a few instances where I've stumbled upon a hidden nook and been rewarded for it. These were legitimate surprises, which I found made the exploration captivating. But the problem with exploration as a primary mechanic is that if the gameplay space is finite, eventually players will learn every location. Might and Delight have seemingly solved for that by adding an element of randomness and schedule to these locations. Time in the game is based on the real world, with night and day cycles being tied to real hours. Certain NPCs will only come out during certain times, certain events will only happen randomly, and you'll encounter different NPCs at different times. I haven't quite been able to nail it down in my 6 hours of gameplay, but I don't really want to. This makes the gameplay space feel alive, and that's obviously a good thing. One of my criticisms, however, is that since time is based on which server region you pick, if you're like me and have a day job, you'll likely only experience night except for the weekends. Despite not having a main story, the world building within Book of Travels is great. It's a very uniquely realized world with an interesting location. The story tidbits are deeper than I expected, with topics ranging from ecology to geopolitics. There's not really a main story, so your perspective on the world around you is formed through fitting together random parts of dialogue like a puzzle. Either way, I find myself really liking the lore so far. Combat seems like it could use some polish, but it seems like it has potential. It wasn't necessarily something I focused on with this game, but there are certainly not a lack of enemies to fight. In conclusion, so far I've had a great time with Book of Travels and definitely think it's worth the $30. It may not currently be the best game ever, but considering the transparent studio, the art style, and the long-term vision, I think it definitely has the potential to be one of my favorites. Hardcore goal-oriented gamers might feel a bit lost in the freeform sandbox, but I enjoy the level of freedom the game systems afford you. If I had to compare Book of Travels to other games, I'd probably compare it to Kenshi for the aesthetic and combat, Journey for the aesthetic and focus on exploration and social dynamics, and Animal Crossing for the leisurely pace and time-gated style narrative. I'm really excited by the roadmap, and I can't wait to see what Might and Delight have in store for the game. Anyway, that's my review. My name's Gurobo, and thanks for watching. Peace.